It is Monday, January 28th, about 10 in the morning, and this video is mostly going to be about Chloe Cat. She started having issues breathing last night. As you can tell, she is now her head's kind of bobbing back and forth because how fast and shallow her breath is. But yeah, it started last night. It wasn't as fast as this. Here at my mom and stepdad's place, and they ended up going to bed, and I was up for like 2 hours later, and I think just like an hour later, Chloe started getting worse. Her breathing started getting faster, and then her mouth was hanging open a little. Her tongue was just slightly sticking out, just barely, but it definitely wasn't normal. And her eyes, like, she would like almost she would close her eyes like 75% of the way, very similar to how she just did, and then she would just like keep them there. And just felt really bad for her because she had to suffer through last night. She was worse last night. The only reason she's better this morning is because she got some kind of medication from the vet. My stepdad took her. Let's look at her. She's wondering if she's even gonna make it to the end of today. My stepdad said he didn't really have time to talk to me. He turned around and took off into town again. All he was able to tell me before he left was that he took her to the vet. He said the prognosis was not good and that it was actually her heart. And just that she got some medication for now. I didn't wake up till about 9:50, or at least get up, and this door doesn't shut all the way, or when you shut it, doesn't latch all the way, so like wind draft can make it pop open a little, and then the animals can open it, can push it open. But anyways, I think the dogs end up opening the door all the way, and then her part of the way. And Chloe, I was getting up, I was just walking towards the door, and then Chloe came walking around the corner, which was at the time a sigh of relief for me, because had woken up to the dogs barking when my stepdad Bob came home, and I knew that he was going to take her to the vet this morning, and so when I saw her walking around the corner, I thought maybe they'd figure out what the problem was, because last night we were laying on the couch, or she was laying on the couch, and like she could barely move. I feel horrible, because even though like my stepdad didn't have time to, or didn't take the time to try and tell me exactly what was wrong with her and whether they had any options to save her or not, I imagine there are possibilities to save her. I know my mom made a comment last night. She said she didn't have the money to take her to the vet. Normally my mom would be the first person, by the way, to do so, but she was just being truthful. So she asked my stepdad to take her. Meow. Meow. Yeah. That's definitely not how she normally looks. Yeah, I feel bad because I'm just sitting here making a video while she's sitting there like struggling just to breathe. And I imagine her heart is pumping incorrectly. My stepdad said it was her heart. So I don't know which problem is causing what. Yeah, sorry if I don't have much to say very fast, but I just woken up and haven't had breakfast. If you can see my pill bottles over there, I'm in the process of tapering down off of Diazepam, off-brand for Valium. I was down to 8 milligrams, and I've had like 4 days where I've been able to manage only taking 6, but 2 days I had to give in and just take a puny tiny extra milligram, which as far as that medication is next to nothing. But it's like just enough to where if you just feel like you're gonna die from the withdrawal effects, you think you need to go to the emergency room, you can always try taking just a half of one of those tiny pills, and it does just barely enough to like relax your mind. So like I've been struggling through these withdrawal symptoms and just the long-term effects of benzo medications. So I'm like zombie, pretty sluggish. I don't have haven't put my contact lens in yet. So of course everything's blurrier than it should be. From all the extra stress from the withdrawal effects, when I wear the contacts, it kind of feels like my eyes are being smothered. Like they're even supposed to be like soft contact lenses. They're supposed to be considered breathable. They're the Biofinity toric lenses, and they're like marketed as being like a more breathable lens, but I always feel like my eyes aren't getting enough air, and there's kind of like a suction cup sensation. So, no contacts, or with contacts, always under stress, and then glasses I have are very more modern, like sleek design instead of the old-fashioned like big lens. It would cover more of your field of vision, and I didn't have the money to pay for anti-glare, so like last month especially with like Christmas lights, like every single light would have like 3 different like reflection points on the lens. So like just in the house here there was like a few Christmas trees, the main one, and then 3 smaller ones, and then maybe some really smaller ones, and just all the lights. It was just like all these lights reflecting off my lens. Might as well not even been wearing glasses since it was so bad. But back to Chloe. Her brother Cody passed away a few months ago now. He basically looked like her, except for, if anyone picked up on it, she pretty much doesn't have a tail. She just has like a couple vertebrae, so it's like a stump. Kind of looks gross, but so yeah, she's got it tucked in. See, there's her little stump. And again, I feel bad because I'm just sitting here making a video, and I'm completely uneducated on how to save anybody's life, whether it's a person or an animal. And even hypothetically, if I had any money right now, I have such a hard time focusing that even if I made the attempt to hop in my van and like rush her to like an emergency veterinarian hospital, I'd probably end up crashing my van before I even made it there. That's how bad my symptoms have been. Chloe. It's good she's at least still responsive, but I mean, you start to think about what's going to happen. I was going to say really quick, last night I was starting to think about, well, you know, what was happening to her and then what's going to result if nothing is done. It was starting to get to like 1:30 in the morning, and I was laying with her on the couch, and she was, you know, worse than this, and it just hit me like, hey, she's not able to eat, she's not able to drink any water, she's putting off so much energy breathing this fast that she's just gonna dehydrate and her heart's gonna end up giving out. And I wanted to help her so bad. I tried knocking on my parents' door last night. Like 1:30 in the morning, a couple different times, but they were both passed out. I kept calling for my mom's name, and they didn't wake up, and I was starting to like get to the point where I was about to just face plant to the ground. I was so tired, and I had already taken my evening dose of diazepam, and then even though I'd already taken my evening dose and it kicked in, I was having bad anxiety, especially from not knowing what to do to help Chloe. I feel bad just even having to mention that. This video should be about her. But, so my anxiety was high, and I'm used to like my mom waking up to me, like gently knocking on the door, let alone knocking on the door and then calling out her name out loud, and then her not responding multiple times. I know my stepdad had a decent amount to drink last night. I imagine my mom had at least a small amount, so they're probably just both knocked out. Yeah, I laid down with Chloe on the couch and just tried to like be there for her and like pet her and lay next to her, and I was hoping that would relax her and calm down her breathing. Cause like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, maybe longer, I might have been when I was staying at the homeless shelter, maybe, and it might have been like a night that I got permission to stay here, or it might have been before I went to the shelter when I had a roommate, Ashley. Either way, it was a night. I'm pretty sure I was staying here, and Chloe she was having trouble breathing back then, but like her tongue was literally hanging out, and almost like she was a panting dog, except for she was definitely struggling to breathe, and like it was like her tongue was just hanging out like she was dying, and it's like she couldn't just relax and bring her tongue back in. But I can't remember. I think she might have gotten some type of medication back then, and I remember my mom told me there's her tongue again. Well, at least she was able to swallow. I brought it up to my mom last night about that time that happened, and she told me that Chloe was, when she was taken to the vet for that, and by the way, when that happened, she had to like suffer through a night also. Last time the vets didn't think that, they couldn't say what was wrong with her, but just being vets, they didn't think that she was going to make it. I think she's wondering if she's wanting down or not. I'm pretty sure she managed to make it up the stairs. I don't know. There's always a chance that my stepdad Bob was nice enough to carry her up here and get her, at least try and get her away from her female boxer dog Maggie, who would just sniff and lick the heck out of her. And she'd be helpless. Normally she'd be able to hide it somewhere from Maggie, but yeah, I'm getting dehydrated and out of breath myself just from making a 23-minute video plus. Yeah, last time, a couple years ago, whenever it was, when we didn't think she was gonna make it, I remember my little sister Chelsea drove all the way from her house in South Bloomfield to just to come see her, because Chelsea used to be, for the longest time, for years and years, a good chunk of Chloe and her brother who has passed on. Chelsea actually used to have this room for a while, and then in her rooms, like the apartment my parents had before this house, and then our house before that apartment, cats would almost always spend so much time with her and pretty much sleep in her bed above anyone else's. So Chelsea still had that strong connection and came to see her late in the night. I'm sure my sister doesn't. Wouldn't necessarily want this put out there, but I just assume so. But she's already broken the news to everyone, so a while ago, a few weeks ago. So I don't feel like I'm crossing any lines saying this, but she's I'm just guesstimating. Still haven't completely woken up yet, but she's, I think, at least 10 months pregnant. Not 10 months, my bad, 10 weeks. And she had complications earlier, a couple weeks ago, where she was bleeding bad, and she thought that she had like the mother's intuition that she thought she was having a miscarriage, but turned out she was wrong. But today, my stepdad told me before he left again that she's having same problem again. So, and usually my stepdad is optimistic, or he says positive, like reassuring things sometimes during possible negative scenarios. And he was like, before he left, after he told me that, or he told me like back to back, he said that Chloe doesn't have a good prognosis, and on top of that, your sister is bleeding again. And he was like, so he's like, today is probably not going to be a very good day. And so I'm going to have to really try to keep my anxiety under control as best as I can. Like I was saying, I dropped from 8 milligrams, trying to do 6, but yesterday I had to give in during the afternoon and take like a rescue milligram, which most people wouldn't even feel. So it's going to be rough for me, especially if I'm like home alone. That's what I thought was going to happen last night. I thought I was going to fall asleep on the couch. I ended up coming upstairs because my anxiety was getting so high. I was like, there's no way that I could fall asleep on the couch with her, and how I was feeling at the time. There was no way I could wake up to like having, her dead, right in front of my face. But once again, I feel bad for making this video, but I haven't made a video really focusing too much on her, and who knows how long. This is what she looked like last night. Here, it's like a better angle. She's just struggling to breathe so much. Alright, this is giving me really high anxiety. I feel like I'm just gonna pass out since I haven't ate yet. So just wanted to make at least one last video about her. Here, kitty. Right, she's... I feel so bad. She can't... She's gonna just dehydrate to death because she's just breathing away too hard. And last night before she had gotten this bad, tried giving her a tiny piece of cheese, which usually she would devour. She wouldn't even touch it, and then tried giving her some milk, which normally if I'm in the fridge and I grab the gallon of milk, she comes running and like starts meowing like crazy. That was even just a couple days ago, and a lot of times my stepdad wouldn't want me to give her any milk, but or like the animals, any people food in general, but you know, they went to bed and she looked like she was like she does now, and I'm like, well, if she's gonna die, I might as well try and see if she'll drink some milk and give her something to enjoy, but she wouldn't even touch it, which of course makes sense. If she's struggling to breathe, that's the last thing she's worried about. Right. Gonna go ahead, stop the video. Alright, see, she can at least open her eyes back up. Yeah, if since she's back home, since my stepdad brought her back, I'm just going to assume that if there is any other options to help her out, or at least extend her life, I imagine she could at least be on IV fluids, since she can't drink, to help her through the process if there's truly nothing that can be done with her. I'm afraid if I post this video online that he's coming back. That someone will be like, I'm afraid if I post this that someone's gonna be like, oh, all you have to do is this and that, and she would be all right. But I guess we'll find out. I don't know if it's a money issue or what. Alright, gonna go eat some breakfast.